So the big question everybody has is, what's up with Kanye, yo? What's up with the boy? Because Kanye is a very interesting celebrity. He's a very interesting rap personality. Kanye was recently on Fox News speaking to one of the biggest racists on mass media right now, which is Chris Tucker. And he was basically validating his choice to support the White Lives Matter movement, which really doesn't exist because in reality, it doesn't need to exist. Which lot of black people understandably feel that that's a stab at the Black Lives Matter movement, which is basically the concept behind White Lives Matter. Is it was initiated basically to invalidate the Black Lives Matter movement, even though the reason that the Black Lives Matter movement begun was due to a mass killing of innocent black people by police, by law enforcement. And the narrative became, well, they kill each other all the time. But no one's protesting that because that's human behavior at the end of the day. Of course, we understand that there is a big problem in the black community where uh, a lot of lives are being taken by other black people. We understand that perfectly. But the system is what we are supposed to rely on for safety, for assurance, so that the people that are living in these places that are fearing for their lives on a regular basis because of the high death rates actually have somewhere to turn to. And that's not the case when police officers are vastly killing black people within those areas. So for Kanye to take a stance that he feels that it's important that he reminds everyone that white lives matter, Kanye West needs to understand that no one has ever tried to invalidate white lives or say that white lives didn't matter. That's not why Black Lives Matter had begun. It had nothing to do with trying to invalidate white lives. But they were trying to validate black lives and get the world to see that Black Lives Matter also. And that's basically what Black Lives Matter stands for, is Black Lives Matter also. Now I can understand if Kanye was actually going after the Black Lives Matter organization, because a lot of people in the black community no longer support that organization for obvious reasons. However, it still doesn't mean that black lives don't matter. So for him to do that, that was a bold move. And basically, from his explanation on the show, I think it was more of a publicity stunt, and it was more to get eyes on him and maybe open up his music to new markets that would probably otherwise disregard all of Kanye's music and all of his fashion labels and other business dealings that Kanye has. And, when Kanye speaks, he also talks about his dealers that basically tell him what type of content to put forth to the public. And just as many of us speculated, I speculated, and I know a lot of you have, but these uh, celebrities are pretty much told what they can say and what they can't say. And I don't believe that that's even written in a contract. I think that that's just how it is in a business. And I think that when celebrities go against that, then there's punishment. Um, and that punishment happens in a variety of ways. I don't think that it usually ends up in death, but we know that sometimes it does. especially when the figures are so popular and so powerful and have such a great following that they are deemed a threat. Then we know that they will assassinate or kill one of these popular celebrities. Um, and what they will also do is they will put them in jail. They'll try to make them look bad in the media, and they'll make sure that all of their fans no longer care about them. And I think that there are signs in a lot of Kanye's rhetoric that this is something that he fears, especially with him achieving a $1 billion status. Right now, Kanye is considered a multi-billionaire, and I don't think that he wants anything to negatively impact that. And I believe that it is for that reason Kanye may be making a lot of outlandish and bold statements because, as he stated himself, he does have handlers or people that are responsible for Kanye West. But a sellout is a sellout at the end of the day. Now, I don't know, I don't like giving people labels, but I have the right, just like everyone else does, to judge someone by their character and the things that they say and do. And based on what Kanye has said and done over the last few years, I've been able to judge his character. And I don't know if it's true about him being crazy. I don't know how crazy he is, but what I will say from my perspective is that a lot of things that Kanye does seems very methodical and seems very calculated. So I don't buy the whole "it's okay, I'm crazy and y'all still love me anyway." I think that a lot of his uh, a lot of the things that he says in public is definitely planned. I don't think that he just blurts out things anymore, but I think he thinks about what he's going to say, and I think that there's a strategy behind the content uh, that he uses. Also, it's going to be very interesting to see if Kanye West actually runs for office. Now, I think the last time that Kanye supposedly ran for president, well, that was just to get a lot of the Democrat votes in order to help the Republican Party win. So I think that if he runs again, even if he does well in the beginning, I still think that that's going to be a strategy because I believe that he has some type of deal with the Republican Party, specifically Trump. Him and Trump have a very good working business relationship. And since his relationship started with Donald Trump, it's at around that time that he achieved billionaire status. And I'm not one to really believe in coincidences. I don't think that this is a coincidence. Um, I think that it's a lot deeper than just being a coincidence. But at the end of the day, Kanye has done and said a lot of things to support his black fan base, which is basically his fan base that put him in a position to become a billionaire. And I think that because of that, then there should be some type of feeling uh, for the black community that has helped to put him at the status that he is in now. What I will say about Kanye West, even though, I really like his music, I think that he put out some good music, and some of his music was even conscious. And that's one of the things that I liked about Kanye is I did kind of consider him a conscious rapper. But as a human being, I no longer consider him conscious. And he may be woke to a certain aspect, but he's beyond the level of consciousness that I regarded him as when he first started this. Right now, he's on another level of consciousness. And I don't think that the man is stupid because he is a billionaire. So we know that there's genius in Kanye West. The things that he does very well. and that's what put him in a position to become a billionaire in the first place. So I'm gonna give him his accolades for that. But I don't think that he has basically any allegiance with the black community. I don't think that the black community can no longer trust Kanye West and, depend on him to be someone to be a voice or speak up for the black community, because he does have mixed agendas. And as Kanye has put in front of us, he's no longer just for the black community. Kanye's about his bank, and he's about growing his empire, and that's understandable, but he's doing all this with no cap. So basically, I don't think that there are any boundaries for the things that Kanye West will do and say, and it's really sad because I feel like we've lost someone that could have been a great power, a great voice, to speak for black people specifically, especially during this time that we're faced with so much, and a lot is going on now. Now, I'm not going to say that things are worse than they were, because I actually feel like things are getting better. I think that, the wedge, the racial line has actually been, I won't say erased, but it has been, the gap between the races has become smaller. It's not as wide as it was. So I think that even with all the conflict that we have with race and how popular that issue is today, I still think that things are getting better. And I think that certain people that didn't get it before, I think that they're finally waking up. And, they finally are starting to see from another perspective, which, this behavior wasn't noticed maybe about 10, 15 years ago. And I think that social media is also helpful in pretty much closing that gap, because people get to talk more and share their perspectives more. So I just think that with Kanye West, basically, I'm pretty much done with him as a voice for the black community. I mean, if he comes out with some hot music, which I haven't heard from him recently, but if he comes out with some hot music, or something noteworthy, I'll still give him his accolades or his props. But as far as being a leader or a voice for the black community, I don't think that Kanye West is that person, and perhaps he is incapable of ever being that person. What do you think? Voice in comments below. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.